залишились домівок. Люди змушені були виїжджати. Дуже багато людей загинуло, дуже велике горе в країні. Це перевернуло все життя з ніг на голову.
After nearly 4 years of war, Ukraine is the most heavily mine-contaminated country in the world, with millions of landmines and unexploded weapons scattered over nearly a quarter of the land. This invisible danger is wrecking lives. More than 900 civilians have been killed or injured. In Tokyo, the Japanese government has just hosted the annual Ukraine Mine Action Conference. Globally, Japan is one of the major supporters of Ukraine, having provided $12 billion in financial aid, equipment and training since 2022. This conference is an opportunity to coordinate international support, technical, financial and humanitarian, to accelerate demining in Ukraine. The emphasis is not only on making the country safer right now, but as an economic gateway to the future. The Japanese foreign minister said landmines cast a dark shadow over Ukraine's future and stressed the importance of mine action through international public-private partnerships.
地雷対策はウクライナの大地が安全を取り戻し、国土の利用につながること、ウクライナの復旧・復興開発へとつながっていく包括的、長期的なプロセスの重要な要素です。
Mr. Motegi outlined a new package, the Ukraine Mine Action Support Initiative, which aims to boost human resources and technology, integrating mine action into Ukraine's broader recovery. He also announced a new partnership with Colombia, another country with a history of landmine contamination, and a financial contribution to the NATO fund that supports mine action in Ukraine. Ukraine's Deputy Minister of Economy, Environment and Agriculture says the ongoing conflict makes clearing landmines even more dangerous.
It's really complicated our work, but we're doing it because if we will wait when war will stop, we will lose totally our economy, because our economy is in a big part is agriculture production.
Japan and Ukraine have developed a new approach, the so-called nexus, which is all about getting rid of the landmines, but also what comes next.
Nexus idea, it's not doing just clearance, it's thinking about future and what will happen in area in the future after clearance, what will rebuild and in what time period, how we work with local authorities, how we work with local citizens, with local business.
Japanese engineering and manufacturing company Nikken Corporation has given 12 landmine clearance machines to Ukraine since the beginning of the conflict.
通常の地雷除去機っていうのはブルータイプ押していくものになります。だけどこの機材はショベルタイプ、アームを動かすことによって対人地雷を処理したり間木伐採をしたりするものです。
Thousands of miles away from the Tokyo conference, the Nikken machine is being put through its paces in a real-life simulation. Here in Cambodia, officers from Ukraine's emergency services are learning how to use the equipment on the ground before heading home, where they'll train up their colleagues in turn. Coordinated by the Japan International Cooperation Agency JICA, this training camp pulls together expertise from the Cambodia Mine Action Center and Nikken to pass on knowledge and skills to trainees from the Ukrainian State Emergency Service. This is one of several training sessions JICA has held in Cambodia, a country that knows all too well the deadly toll that landmines exact.
Міни не використовуються доцільно дуже багато сільськогосподарських угідь. поля забруднені, не можуть фермери їх обробляти. Так само є деокуповані території, куди люди хочуть повернутися жити, але там небезпечно. Там можуть бути забруднені вибухонебезпечними предметами їхні подвір'я, їхні домівки, їхні гаражі, будь-що, городи, які вони хочуть обробляти. Так само дуже забруднені лінії електропередач, різні інфраструктурні об'єкти на деокупованих територіях.
Back in Tokyo at the Ukraine Mine Action Conference, Kameishi Hiroto of JICA says the training program is two-pronged.
Just simply providing equipment doesn't work well because when introducing a new technology or new equipment, that technology and equipment should be properly used, meaning that capacity development and human resource development are key.
The idea is that the Ukrainian officers in Cambodia will now train up their colleagues back in the field.
We really hope that those kind of trainers will be the focal or core of the human resource development in Ukraine.
While efforts in Cambodia aim to prevent future casualties from mines, the toll in Ukraine is already immense. With tens of thousands of people there in need of prosthetic limbs, one Japanese company is exploring how its technology could help. Obara Kogyo is a fourth-generation Tokyo-based prosthetics company with more than 70 years of experience.
我が社では鍛造といって昔の日本の刀を作るような製法で金属を加工しています。また一方でテクノロジー 3D プリンターの発達も目覚ましいものがありますよね。そういったスピード感ある最新の技術のものを融合していって一つの製品ができるっていうふうになると思います。
Obara Kogyo has received inquiries from organisations in Ukraine and is considering how best to respond to the evident need for prosthetics, but in a country where medical facilities are overstretched.
今私たちで目指して開発しているものとしては、直ちに義足が必要であるにもかかわらず、そういった環境にいない人たちですね。そういった方たちが一時的にでも自分で義足がセットできるようなものがあるのが好ましいだろうと思っております。
We've seen the brute strength of the demining machine in action in Cambodia, and other technologies are also in development to try and minimise the risk to soldiers on the ground. Industrial drone company ProDrone is working with Tokyo consultancy Padeco and two local Ukrainian partners to develop AI-powered drones that can detect mines from the sky.
Someone said to demining in Ukraine takes more than 100 years. But, well, we didn't calculate, but if this technology can contribute, then it's going to be much faster and less dangerous. It is very, very high technology because lower altitude is very difficult to fly, but our drone can do only 20 centimeters. Then, if 1 meter, detector cannot detect anything.
The drones use software to map the exact location of where the mines are detected. The flight path is also programmed so the drones fly autonomously. Nagoya-based ProDrone is currently testing them at its headquarters and invited a delegation of Ukrainian companies to watch.
今回は金属探知機を搭載したドローンというものを考えています。で、金属探知機の欠点というか、それは地表に非常に近いところをゆっくり飛ぶ。それから範囲が狭い。それを2つ一対のものとして2個つないで取り付けて、回転させることで一度に広い面積が取れるような工夫をしています。
Vlad Kozak of the Ukrainian Foundation Post-Up was in Nagoya.
This year we had a project with the State Emergency Service of Ukraine, where we surveyed 5 million square meters of suspected hazardous areas and confirmed hazardous areas. So we used agricultural drones that were mostly popular in Ukraine. And right now we went to the next level to try and test custom-made solutions for such applications.
The widespread use of landmines has decimated farming. Before the war, much of this land was used for agriculture. Ukraine exported enormous quantities of food. It was known as the breadbasket of Europe, and its agriculture sector accounted for around 10% of its GDP. At a side event during the conference, Ukrainian chef Yevhen Klopotenko was serving up Ukraine's borscht soup, made from vegetables from fields recently cleared of landmines, to raise awareness.
3 years ago, 4 years ago, you've been farming all of your life. And then Russia invaded and mined all the territories. And then was the time when we pushed the Russian army back. And now we have these fields, but they are mined. And the farmers, they can only farm. And that's their craft. Every day they can be killed. They can be killed by the drone or they can be killed by the mine. So that's the real price of the food.
It was a moment for local people to find out more about Ukraine and landmines, and of course taste the traditional dish.
今も地雷がこんだけ多くあるんだっていうところは改めて驚きましたし、市民の人たちが地雷を気にせずに暮らせる時が来るといいなというふうに思いました。
地雷を犬で探す方法とかがあってのを知れた。面白かった。
で地雷があるとその農業とかが全然できないっていうこともあって、それが撤去されて大地が蘇ったっていうのが分かってとても嬉しい気持ちです。
With new agreements signed and fresh partnerships launched, Japan's role in Ukraine goes beyond funding. It's a full-scale effort, saving lives and preparing the ground for recovery and reconstruction.